So what do you do if you see something in a sex toy shop and you want to bring it home, try it out, but you're afraid to talk to your partner about it? This is Hunter Riley from Self Serve.
Hi, Cathy.
It's great to have you here. I'm Cathy Vartuli from the Intimacy Dojo. And we're here in the fabulous Self Serve.
Ooh.
And they have an amazing sex toy shop, sex positive, education, women owned in Albuquerque. If you're ever in the area, you should definitely check it out.
Yes.
And we were just talking about what kind of questions you guys get.
Yeah.
And I could totally see, like, you see something very cool in the sex toy shop and you want to bring it home, but your partner is like, oh, like you're worried about upsetting them.
Right.
How do you handle it? What do you recommend?
So what I oftentimes recommend is, one, you can bring something home and just try it with yourself first. Because a lot of people feel very uncomfortable with sex toys because they don't know how to use them.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do. So it's that feeling of, I'm not confident in my abilities to do this. And so it's just, I think a lot of it for a lot of people is just feeling unsure. And then those feelings of unsureness just make you feel like, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to be good at it.
And then life starts getting small because you're not trying anything new.
Exactly. So sometimes what I recommend is if there's something that you want to try, great, get it, take it home, and have sex with it a few times.
Yeah. Because
then you know what to expect. There's also this pressure sometimes when you're with a partner trying something new for the first time that one or both of you has to love it. And when you do something for the first time, sometimes it's awkward and sometimes you fall and sometimes you're like, well, that did not go as planned. Yeah. So I oftentimes recommend taking something home and trying it out a few times by yourself. And then you can kind of frame it to your partner as, hey, I found this thing I really like. I found out some ways I like to use it. Can I show you?
Yeah.
Right? And so then you can kind of put on a show and tell. Then they are seeing exactly what you like and how to use this thing. And so maybe it's a vibrator. And maybe when they see a vibrator, they think, okay, I put it inside a hole. Yeah. Right? But maybe you're like, no, I put this vibrator on the mattress and I grind on it.
Yeah.
Right? And so
however
then they
wanted, yeah.
Right, exactly. And so then they get the tutorial, the in-person tutorial of how to use this toy so that your partner experiences pleasure and has a fun time, and then they may feel more comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
And again, not putting pressure on anybody, not saying, all right, well, I'm going to show you and then you have to do it.
Yeah.
Right? But just saying, hey, this is something I found that I liked, and then not to mention you're about to put on a really hot show for someone that you like, and they might just be so turned on by the end of it that they're like, well, you just give me that thing and I want to try it now. So I think that can be a nice way to ease into it without any sort of pressure and without, your partner sitting there, or maybe they're doing something to you and being like, do they like it?
Yeah.
I don't know. So sometimes I think that's a good way to start.
That's great. I know that some partners don't like to be surprised. They want to play with, explore too. So one of the things I love to do is recommend to my clients that they have a lab night where they're just going to practice, like, we're going to try this stuff, it may not work. And that can be really hot too. Like, oh, that was horrible, but it was so much fun to explore. And just accepting that you're both going to be awkward and you need to practice your voice, that feels good. Oh, don't do that. That can be really powerful too.
I completely agree with that. And that's something I recommend for the blowjob class is I say, listen, I'm going to tell you about techniques and things you can do with your hands and your mouth, and your partner might hate all of them.
Yes.
But if you can say, hey, can we get together and try some of these things, and let's just work on one or two tonight. We don't have to try them all, and you don't have to love them all.
Yeah.
We can just try it, and I bet you'll probably have more fun trying the things than you will then they're gonna have their mind blown by this thing you just did with your hands. And it's just fun that you're doing something new together. Again, that releases those yummy neurochemicals in your body, the in love chemicals, right? So doing something new together can really help. And even if it turns out they're like, that was fun, but please don't ever do that to my penis again. And you're like, hey, no problem. I just had a fun time trying it.
Well, and you can also learn what your partner likes, like what turns them on. Like, even by knowing what not to do, there's contrast there. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's a really, really good piece of advice as well. Yeah.
Self-Serve Toys always has, all toys here are tested before they're released, so you can always ask, hey, what would you recommend?
So if I want to look for something for my partner because they want to practice G-spot stimulation or female ejaculation or squirting, then I can say, okay, well, here's some good options, So we test and review everything. People sometimes say, well, that sounds like a great job, and sometimes it is. And sometimes it's not. We joke we have bad sex, so you don't have to. Because there's a lot of crap in the adult industry, and we would hate it if you pick something out from us and and you went home and it was terrible and didn't do what it said it did. So we try really hard to curate the adult industry and make it so that whatever we have on our shelves is going to be really good.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. What would you do, and what problems have you run into around this? Please leave comments below.
Yeah, thank you so much.